Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we will learn about how to create stacks and queues in Python. So let's get started. Let's begin with what is a stack. I'm sure you must have seen various real-life examples of stacks before. For instance, a stack of books, a stack of coins, and a stack of plates. In simple words, a stack is a pile of things placed on top of each other. By definition, a stack is a linear structure where the last element added is the first element removed. It follows the principle of last in first out, or simply LIFO. All operations in a stack take place only at the top of the stack. You can insert a new item on top of the stack and this operation is known as push operation. Similarly, an item can be removed only from the top of the stack and this operation is known as pop operation. Alright everyone, I have opened PyCharm IDE and here I have created a new project called Stacks and Queues. Now I am going to create a new module over here. Let's name it as stack.py. Inside this module, I am going to create an empty list and I will name it as stack. An empty list is created by passing an empty pair of square brackets just like this. Now the next step is to add elements to this empty list. For this purpose, I will use the append method. So stack.append and then pass the value that you want to insert. Similarly, I will pass a few more values. So here I have passed 3 values. Let us display all the elements of the stack. So stack after push operation is, and then I will pass the name stack. Let's run this code and here we get to see 1, 2 and 3. So all the elements have been inserted in the same order in which I have appended them to the list. This append method always inserts the new element at the end of the list. And here the end of the list is behaving like the top of the stack. So if you want to check which is the current top element of the stack, then use the print function to display current top element like this. And here you will have to pass stack -1. This index -1 is the index of the last element of the list. Let's run the code and current top element is 3. Let's move on and this time I am going to remove one element from the stack using pop operation. Don't pass any index and this pop operation will automatically remove the last inserted value from the stack. After this I am going to repeat this code and here I will change push to pop operation. And then we will display the current top element also. So after pop operation, value 3 has been removed from the stack and we are left with 1 and 2 only and the current top element becomes 2. In the next step, let us remove both these elements also. So stack.pop and stack.pop 2 times because we have 2 elements. In the end, I will just check if the stack is empty. So here I will have to check it by typing length of stack and I will check if it is equal to 0. If the value returned is true, then the stack is empty, otherwise not. In this case, the stack is empty and that is why we got true as the output. But let us suppose that before checking for whether the stack is empty or not, I insert one element, let's say 5. So in this case, if I run it, then stack is not empty because it contains one value and stack empty is false. Let us discuss about uses of stacks in programming. First of all, stacks are quite useful in processing function calls. When one function calls the other function, then the calling function is pushed on top of a stack known as call stack while the control is transferred to the called function. When the called function returns with the result to the calling function, then the calling function is popped from the stack and is processed. So these call stacks are quite useful in handling recursive function calls. Another application of stacks is in undo mechanisms in software. When you press undo, then the last action from the stack is removed and this is how it lets you go back step by step. A similar application of stacks is in backtracking algorithms, particularly in games and puzzles where you can undo a move with the help of a stack. Alright guys, let's move on to understand what is a queue. A queue is defined as a linear structure where the first element added is the first element removed. It follows the principle of FIFO or first in, first out. A classic example of a real-life queue is a queue of people waiting at a ticket counter. So in this case, the first person to enter the queue is the first person to leave. A new insertion can only be made at the rear or the back end of the queue, and this operation is known as enqueue. On the other hand, an item can be removed only from the front of the queue, and this operation is known as dequeue. Just like a stack, it is also possible to create a queue using a list. But in order to implement a queue, we will have to use collections library. So here I will be typing from collections and then I will import a deck. Deck basically is pronounced as deck only, it is not dequeue, and it stands for double-ended queue. That means a kind of queue which allows insertion and deletion operations on both sides, front and rear. Anyway, we will create a variable called queue here and we will be creating an empty deck. In the next step, I will be inserting a few values, let's say a few names to this queue. Alright, in the next step, I am going to print the queue after enqueue operation. So insertion is also known as enqueue operation in case of a queue. And now we are going to display this queue. Run this code and here you will see in the output that we have got a deck containing these three names. If you want to convert this deck variable to a list, then use the list function and perform the type conversion, rerun the code, and this time we have got the list of names that we have just passed to this queue. In the next step, I am going to remove the element from the front of the queue using pop left method, and this pop left method will remove the first element that we inserted into the queue, and after this I am going to display the queue once again, but this time the operation will be named as dequeue operation. As you can see, the leftmost item, which was John, has been removed from the queue and we are left with only two names in this queue. In the next step, let us suppose I want to display element at the front of the queue. So current element at the front of the queue will be given by queue with index 0, and that will be the value of the first element, and that is Tim in this case. Similarly, if you want to display the current element at the rear, then it will be given by index value -1. So let's run the code again, and current rear element is Mary. Let us suppose I insert one more element into this queue. Let us display the queue after enqueue operation, and this time we have got Tim, Mary and Sam. If you want to display the length of the queue, then you can do so by using length function. So we can say here length of the queue is, and then put a comma, len of queue variable will be checked here, and we know it is equal to 3 because we have 3 elements here. If you want to check whether the queue is empty or not, then print is queue empty and then check if the length of the queue is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, the output would be true, otherwise false. And in this case, the length is not equal to 0, and that is why we got false as the output. Coming to the applications of queues. The first application of a queue is in managing tasks and processes waiting for CPU time, and this is known as task scheduling or process scheduling. The second application of a queue is in maintaining print queues. When multiple print jobs are sent to a printer, they are held in a queue and processed one by one. The third application is in data streaming. When streaming video or audio online, a queue temporarily stores small chunks of data before playing them. And similarly, the last application can be web server request management, where web servers use queues to handle multiple incoming requests from users. I am wrapping up this video with a small practice exercise. Can you create a function to reverse the elements of a stack? That's all everyone for this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel Programming Horizons, and I'll see you in my next video.